Before we dive in, please like and comment. It truly helps this video reach more amazing viewers like you. The movie kicks off with a boat in the middle of the ocean, and they were pulling up an old coffin from the seafloor. After they cracked it open, a girl came out like she was breathing for the first time. That was Gwyn, Andy's homie who got locked up in the first movie for 500 years as punishment at the bottom of the sea. In Croatia, we see the Immortal squad on a mission to find a dude named Conrad in his fortified crib, surrounded by guards. Copley was helping them out, and they started scrapping with the guards. One by one, Joe's finger gets chopped while he's taking out a guard, but he shrugs it off and it grows back like no big deal. When the dudes in the house heard the gunfire, they started bolting and a car chase went down. Copley and Andy roll into the house and run into some guards still inside. Andy whipped out her sword and took them out with mad skills. Copley reminded her she ain't immortal no more and gotta watch her back. Meanwhile, Niall was on a boat in the water, speeding toward the house and starting to fight the guards. While Andy and Copley were still scrapping with a bunch of guards and taking them out, Niall climbed to the second floor. There, she ran into Conrad with his guards. She got hit, but her injury healed quick, and she decided to dip from them. She heads down to the first floor to Andy and Copley. On the way, Joe and Nikki were still dealing with the ones who bolted and managed to take out a few. Nikki jumped from his ride and stays hanging onto a car. Joe was in the last car, and they're moving fast, crashing into it. Both cars get wrecked, but of course, Joe and Nikki walk out with no scratches. Back with the rest of the squad, they made it to the second floor, took out the guards, and also Conrad. With that, they pulled off their mission and called the intelligence agency to come seize all the weapons in the spot. They head back to their crib and celebrate. Then Copley gets a call, and they tell him Conrad wasn't the buyer for the weapons, just a middleman. The real buyer's name is unknown, and all they got is a pic of him. When Niall saw the pic, she feels like she knows this chick and remembers dreaming about her in Paris. We see Booker, who split from the squad, heading back to his crib. When he walks in, he finds Gwyn inside waiting for him. She asks him how to find Andy, kidnaps him, and takes him to a spot, trying to get Andy's location out of him. But he tells her he doesn't know where she's at, reminding her he's exiled from the squad and ain't no use to her. What's pissing Gwyn off is that when she was trapped at the bottom of the sea, dying and waking up over and over, she thought Andy was locked up somewhere suffering like her. All she thought about was getting out to save her. But when she got out and found out Andy was free for 500 years and didn't try to save her, that's what's got her mad. Booker tried to tell her Andy was living in her own grief, but Gwyn ain't buying it. At the same time, the squad got to Paris and split up for a bit to lay low and stay off the radar. But Nikki and Niall find out Joe was visiting Booker and chilling with him while he was exiled, which is kind of like betrayal. Niall finds out Booker ain't at his crib, and there's blood on the floor. Andy and Copley were in Korea, and Andy goes to meet an old friend named Tua. It's clear he's immortal too and sees she's still wearing Gwyn's necklace. She asks him about the chick Niall keeps dreaming about, if he knows her, because Niall met her in an old library where that chick was killing someone and took books. Tua takes him to the same library that's got everything about the Immortals over the years. There were a few stolen books. Andy suspects it's the chick Niall's dreaming about and asks Tua her name. He tells him she's calling herself Discord now and says she's basically the first immortal, the oldest of them all. Copley thought Andy was the first immortal, and Tua tells him they were around when Gwyn got thrown in the water and refused to help. Back then, Tua helped Andy and save her alone. Since then, he's been isolating himself in that library. Discord been stacking wealth over centuries to protect herself, and now she's dealing in weapons. The books she stole have all the info on Andy's squad, which means they're in danger. They're shook when they find out Andy already lost her immortality. The whole squad meets up in Italy with Tua. Then Niall tells Andy that Booker's in danger. The squad thinks Discord behind what happened. Suddenly, Joe gets a call from Booker asking to meet. He goes for real with Nikki, and they grab him to see Andy. He tells her Gwyn's out and gives her a message from Gwyn, calling her out and telling her where to meet if she wants to. Andy moves to meet her, and Niall ain't letting her go alone, so she tags along. They get to Italy. Andy goes in to meet her, remembering old times. Andy was scared of facing Gwyn, And when she saw her, you could see the brokenness. Gwyn keeps telling her how much she suffered all those centuries. Andy tried to tell her she searched for her for centuries, but Gwyn's still pissed she stopped looking. They sit together, and Andy tries to convince Gwyn to join their squad, but Gwyn refuses to help regular humans who cause her punishment. When Andy was about to tell her she's mortal now, she backs off and Gwyn walks out. Andy goes after her, and suddenly Gwyn attacks her. Andy doesn't want to fight, but has to. You can see how strong a fighter Gwyn is. She takes Andy down and cuts her. At the same time, Niall saw someone and felt like she knew them. After a bit, she went to Andy and Gwyn, stopped them, and told them Discord's here. They actually saw her, and Niall went after her. She figures out Discord's the one who got Gwyn out. She hit her again and took the necklace from her, then dipped. Then Niall sees Discord in the church and tells Discord she was there when Jesus got crucified. Discord tells her how long she's going to keep following Andy's orders, who set herself up as the world's leader. Niall tried to deny it, but Discord tells her she's the last immortal and has mad power. One day, the two of them together are going to end the immortals meddling in human lives, and it ain't her choice. It's a bond between the first and last immortal. When she gets back to her squad and explains what's going on, Tua tells her Discord knows something about her, and they gotta figure it out. Tua talks to Booker and asks when exactly Andy lost her immortality. They figure out it was the first time they want to get Niall. She stabbed her, and since then, she lost her immortality. That backs up a theory Tua has about a legend saying a stab from the last immortal can make someone lose their immortality. He guesses that's Discord's goal, to use Niall to take them all out. But there's another legend saying an immortal can pass their immortality to someone else before losing it. So Andy could become immortal again if one of them gives up their immortality. But it's just a theory, and he ain't sure. Booker goes to talk to Andy and tells her he's tired of eternal life and wants an expiration date, cause otherwise, life's got no meaning. At the same time, Discord meets Gwyn and asks what she wants, saying she'll help her. Gwyn wants everyone to suffer, not just Andy and her crew. In Indonesia, inside a nuclear facility, the guards see a weird car getting close. They try to stop it, but it crashed through the barrier and broke. The driver fell on the ground, and we see it's Gwyn. The guards thought she was dead, but she got up, grabbed one of them, and the rest didn't matter. She killed the others. The facility raid started. Back with Booker. He gets into a fight with Niall, and Tua sees him, looking like he knows what Booker's trying to do. Even Tua jumps into the fight, and the three of them start beating on each other. In the middle of the fight, Niall cuts Booker, and that's what he wanted. Tua went after him, and for real, the cut stayed. It didn't heal. That proves the theory was legit, but Booker still has time to pass his immortality to someone else while he still got it. At the same time, Copley got a pic of Gwyn's raid on a secret Chinese nuclear facility on Indonesian soil. The squad that hit the place took full control, and they suspect they planted a device that could blow the whole facility up. An explosion like that would fill the area with radiation and kill 10 million people, not to mention the explosive charges set up to mess with Andy's squad. Niall sees the bomb as bait to lure them in. Discord wants that. Andy tells him there's no choice and to gear up. Sure enough, hours later, they got to the reactor's location, but no one was there. Copley moves them through the cameras, and when they got close to the reactor itself, a ton of guards showed up. They chose to fight hand-to-hand, cause gunfire near the reactor would be too risky. A hardcore fight breaks out, and the Immortal squad's killing with all they got. When they get to the control room, they run into guards using guns, but they manage to take them out. Suddenly, the door locks on them. Andy was fighting with all her strength until two guards hit her with a taser and dropped her. Niall tried to catch up to her, but a bomb went off and Andy fell. She got up, hit the guards again, and with mad skills took them out. Outside with Copley, Discord's dude suddenly attacked him and managed to grab him. The squad inside the facility hears his voice on the radio, and suddenly, liquid nitrogen drops on the dudes inside, freezing them in place. The guards came and took them, even Andy. Two grabbed her and were about to sedate her, but at the last second, Booker showed up and saved her from them. Then Booker noticed Andy's wounds healing, meaning the immortality transfer from him to her worked. When she saw they were trapped, she told him to move in front of her. Booker told her he's mortal now and gave up his immortality for her. She was shocked, but there was no time. She moved first and behind her, and after she took out the guards, Andy got hit. She sees her wounds healing fast and tells him he did that on purpose. Suddenly, guards came in. Booker moved alone on them and got hit. Andy tried to help, but she couldn't. After Booker took out the guards, he was fatally wounded, and that was it. Everything ended for him. He dies in front of Andy, who was super torn up about it. Then Niall got out from under the rubble and started looking for a crew. Niall walks into a room and finds Gwyn. They get into a fight, and suddenly Niall stabs her. They're both shocked her wounds still there and ain't healing. From behind Niall, Discord shows up and stabs her in the heart, and a guard comes to take her. At the same time, the door opened before Andy, and she moved fast to find her crew. Suddenly, she sees Gwyn holding the detonator for the bomb. Andy reminded her that's not how they roll, and for real, Gwyn let go of the button. Then Andy saw blood coming from Gwyn and hears the sound of choppers. She figures out Discord took off with them, but even Gwyn doesn't know where she took them. Andy ran and latched onto one of the choppers, trying to climb up, but the pilot managed to shake her off, and she falls. Discord wanted the pilot to finish her with the blades, but Andy didn't give up. With a quick move, she was inside the chopper with Discord, grabbed her, and they fell. They both get up and get into a hardcore fight with weapons. It's clear how tough Discord is. In the middle of the fight, Andy sees Discord's wounds ain't healing and figures out she's mortal. All Discord's doing this, cause she's pissed that after all these centuries, she wakes up to find she's gonna die that easily. Andy realized that's why she wants to take out the Immortal squad. But Discord tells her Niall's the one who's gonna do it and give her their immortality to become immortal again. Finally, Andy got how she turned mortal when Niall stabbed her, and then became immortal again after Booker gave her his gift. Andy tries to take out Discord to stop her plan, but with a quick move, Discord cuts Andy and stabs her. She falls on the ground, and while she's recovering, Discord tells her she'll have finished her mission. Andy goes back to the old library and keeps searching through the books. There, she finds Gwyn. They stay together until Gwyn recovers like a regular human. They gear up to save their crew together, and it's clear their bond's back tight. They're gonna fight side by side to save the Immortal squad, but we don't see that in this part, cause it ends there. Wait for the next part when it drops. I'll sum it up for sure.